So randomized control trial means randomization means I told you randomization means always that we are randomizing. Control means the control is in the hand of the researcher. So researcher is controlling who is getting the intervention, who is not getting the intervention. So there will again two groups. One who will get the intervention, other group who will not get the intervention. So here again we are having two groups, but without we are doing randomization here. We are not relying on matching. We are not relying on our subjectivity of the researcher, but we are doing randomization. Now steps, okay? Steps, there are 7 steps, easy. Drawing up a protocol, selecting reference population, selecting experiment population, randomization, manipulation or intervention and follow-up assessment, okay? These are the 7 steps of RCT. Manipulation of or intervention, the same thing. Manipulation means the researcher will decide whether somebody will get the treatment, somebody will not get the treatment, somebody will get the placebo or whatever. First, drawing up a protocol, because for doing any RCT, you have to have a registration number. For that, we call it the CTRI number, like in the government should know that who are getting what treatment, because here on the researcher's wish, it depends that whether who are getting the treatment or not. It may happen that you are introducing or you are experimenting on a new drug or vaccine, and you have chosen a group of people who will get that new drug or vaccine. So government have already have this criteria what you need to fulfill to do this kind of research, okay? So for that you have to draw a protocol, you have to get it approved by the government, then only you can start doing your RCT. So protocol, whatever there are protocol, like what we write in the study protocol, you have written in your project also, rationally, background, objective, why are you doing it, who will be your subject, what will be your intervention, what if the people are getting diseased in the middle of your study, what compensation you will give to them, all should come in the protocol. And after you are getting that approval, you will start conducting your study. Now starting the step like selection of the reference population, the population to which the result of the trial are applicable. For them only, from them we will choose the study population, right? So if we are studying a vaccine for elderly, suppose, okay, a vaccine for elderly like your pneumonia vaccines, okay, so our reference population will be the elderly people. We cannot choose anybody from 25-30 years of old. Now selecting the experimental population means a subset of this reference population who were chosen to participate in the trial. So from these people who are elderly, aging above 60 years of age, we have to choose those who can actually participate to this study. We can take all the 60-year-old and above people from India. So we have to select the experimental population. Suppose those elderly people who are attending our uh, geriatric health clinic from this time to this time, they will be our experimental population. We will recruit them for this study. So they must fulfill the following criteria. So they are representative of the population. So those people who are coming to a geriatric clinic are elderly. So they are the representative of total elderly people. Eligibility of the study. So we can have eligibility means whenever eligibility things comes, you have to think of inclusion and exclusion criteria. Inclusion criteria, suppose people who have given your consent, who wanted to participate. And exclusion criteria, who were severely ill, who cannot tell, talk or like that. So those we can exclude those. And those who give informed consent, that means who have consented to participate in your experimental study. Now, 4 is the most important step is randomization. Randomization is always the heart of our city. The random means what? So randomization means though from those reference, those people who are the experimental population, like we have selected people who are elderly, who are coming to a geriatric clinic for 1 month. Suppose they are 100 of elderly people we have selected, and like based on our inclusion and exclusion criteria. So randomization means out of these 100 people, we have to form two groups. We know that one group will get the vaccine and the newer vaccine, another group will not get the vaccine or get any other vaccines. Okay, not the new vaccine. So how we will divide these people across these two groups, the experimental group and the non-experimental group, or intervention group or non-intervention group. How? Through randomization, so that every one of these 100 people will have the equal chance of getting selected into either group. Okay, so by the researcher choice, if I as a researcher I am telling, oh, this guy is too old, so I won't give him the new vaccine, so let him put in the non-experimental group. Oh, this guy is close to me, he is one of my relatives, so I want to give him or her the new vaccine, which is really costly, so just put him in the experimental group. No, that cannot happen when we are doing randomization. Okay, so that is what our randomization is. And you know, any process of randomization, here is written that yes, we can use the random number table. Okay, we can do the lottery method, anything, so that we can divide this 100 people among the intervention group and non-intervention group. That will not be based on the bias or subjectivity of the researcher. Now, what is the difference between randomization and matching? So, when we did the matching in case control study, what we did? We did only the matching done on the basis of the variables which we already know. Like we told that matched on the basis of age, matched on the basis of sex, matched on the basis of socioeconomic status. But in case of randomization, see, we have never uttered anything. Like we don't know, irrespective of their age, irrespective of their sex, irrespective of their socioeconomic status, they can be selected in non-randomized, in experimental group or in the non-experimental. It is completely depending upon the equal chance or probability. It is never we know that whether what age we will put in the intervention group, what sex we will put in the non-intervention group, never. So matching is done on the known criteria. Randomization are done on the unknown criteria. That is how through randomization we can eliminate the confounding. Okay, you understand? Manipulation means giving the intervention. Right here, what example I was continuing with, that is giving the newer vaccine, or we can give the placebo. We know what placebo is: a pharmacologically inactive substance given as a substitute for an active substance, especially when the person is taking or receiving, it is not informed to them. So they will not know whether it is active or inactive, but they will think everybody is given the drug, I am also given a drug. So one drug will have the active component, another drug will not have the active component, so that drug is known as the placebo. Now follow up. After giving the vaccine, we need to see whether they are not having pneumonia or other group are having the pneumonia. So we have to follow them up whether they are having the disease or disease of our outcome or not, whether they have improved, whether the treatment is causing any remedial effect on them or not. So that is follow up. Again, attrition should be minimum. So loss of follow up should be minimum. That is also our motto, like just like in the cohort study. Assessment, two types of assessment can come out, positive and negative. So incidence of positive or negative results are compared in both the groups, the intervention group and the non-intervention group. So how many of the people who got the vaccine developed pneumonia? How many of them have not developed the pneumonia? So the positive result, that is how we find out the result, or we did the assessment. Okay. So And data analysis, like it is the same as like the cohort study in both the incidence of an outcome in exposed or treated. Here, the intervention group is compared with the incidence of an outcome in an unexposed group or the control group. So the result of X may be arranged 2 by 2 and measure of association is calculated. Even in case of RCT also, we can calculate the same kind of association just like in the cohort study. Okay. So again, we understood that just here, not the cohort or comparison cohort. Here, here it is the intervention group and the non-intervention group. Bias again, what kind of bias? Because I told you if there is randomization, one type of bias, we are combating that with doing randomization only possible in case of RCT. Other bias may be on the part of participant, maybe from the observer, maybe from the investigator. So that is to eliminate this problem, we do blinding. So blinding is another important step in case of the RCT. What is blinding? Can be done in 3 ways: the single blind, double blind, and the triple blind. Single blind means what? Anybody knows? Single blinded trial means what?
The subject is blinded.
Yes, the subject doesn't know because the study participant, he or she doesn't know whether he is getting the treatment or he is getting the placebo. Double blinded, that means who is giving the treatment, like who is giving the drug or who is giving the placebo, he is also not know whether the drug is containing active component or not. It looks the same. So the researcher is also in dark. So he is also not knowing. And the triple blinded means the analyzer who will get the result, he is also blind. So he also cannot know who has got the treatment, who has not. So this is the single, double, and triple blinded trial. Single means only subject doesn't know. Double means observer as well as the subject do not know. And in triple means analyzer also will not know who have got the intervention, who have not got the intervention. So the last part of today's class is phases of clinical trial. Okay. Phases, phase 1, 2, 3, 4. I am just not like reading out these things. It is very easy for you to remember because the clinical trial, why we do clinical trial? Clinical trial is one type of RCT, randomized control trial. Through clinical trial, we see the newer drug, we test newer drugs, newer vaccines. Okay. So from it composed of 4 steps, 4 easy steps you need to know. So phase 1, what we do in phase 1, it is carried out in the normal human volunteers from 20 to 18 number to examine the clinical pharmacology of a new drug or new vaccine, whatever it may be. Concerned with the safety of the drug in humans and studies drug metabolism, bioavailability, dose ranging, and multiple doses. So this first phase of clinical trial is the safety trial, whether it is safe for the human, even the normal human. And phase 2 clinical trial, it evaluates the effectiveness of a drug based on clinical endpoint, dosing ranges, dose for phase 3 trial, common short-term side effects, risk associated. So here the study subjects is more, that is 100 to 200 patients. And this is the phase 3 trial for assessing the short-term side effects and risk. Now phase 3, it is done with the higher study subject. Okay, more number of people, more number of center. It is multi-center rather, not a single center study. Participants will be more in numbers. So it is a large scale study, multi-center, to show the advantage of an experiment therapy over a standard one. This is the stage that is testing the new treatment and long-term side effect efficacy, the assessment of the efficacy and safety under the controlled conditions. So efficacy means whether the drug is working good in the, like whether the drug is actually being able to cure some disease or not, or vaccine is preventing some disease or not. So the efficacy trial is a phase 3 trial. Now phase 4 is a post marketing trial. So after we have checked the safety, after we have checked the efficacy, now we are actually marketing the drug. So the in the market we have allowed the drug to be sold and to be taken by the people, by the diseased people. So here we will check whether there is any long-term side effect. So after a huge number of people and different places have started using the drug, whether they have developed any long-term side effect, adverse reactions or not. That is our phase 4 trial, or known as the post-marketing surveillance. Okay. So that's it. So you, by now you know what you need to study from your epidemiological study design. The type of studies, for each type of study, you need to know what type of that, what is the definition of that type of study, what are the steps of conducting that study, advantage, disadvantage of that study, biases in that study. Okay. So these 3 or 4 questions you have to prepare for each type, from cross-sectional until RCT. Now you tell me, I told you, what is the answer for first? What type of study you will choose for the first one, like as a 6th semester student? Tell me. I showed this slide in the first class, so I think you knew that you have to answer. Tell me what type of study you will do.
Cross-sectional.
Right? It is the cross-sectional study, because prevalence, cross-sectional study is always a prevalence study. Okay, so you will adopt a cross-sectional study. Now tell me for the second one.
Randomized control study.
Right, you will do a RCT for this. Okay, now for the third one.
Cohort study.
Very good. Why you told it is cohort, not case control?
Because we want to see risk ratio of, means like how OCPs are
Because it is
causing.
already told that it wants to show the causal association. That is the leading point. Causal association we can see in the cohort study. Okay. And now the fourth one. Which study? You know na, dot center DSTB, by your TB class is over. Which study will adopt for the fourth one?
Cohort.
Yes, it is again the cohort study. Okay, because you have followed them up for 6 months. It is a prospective study design, you were told. So that is the cohort study. Okay, you understood how you will face question in the exam and what you need to study.